little bit of a scrape, but we're all good. Whoa! That really went up in the air. Right, welcome everyone to Hennops again, where we're going to test this time the Suzuki Jimny 1.3 litre. The particular model we have on test here is the automatic version. It doesn't have the traction control, thank you. It's got 65 kilowatts, 110 Newton meters, and it retails for approximately 260,000 Rand in South Africa. The Jimny off-road is really capable. It's quite surprising, yes, for a car that feels like a toy.
Yeah, I mean, it's so light and so small that, as you say, it does completely feel like a toy. But still very capable, provided you've got all four wheels on the ground. In this one that doesn't have traction control, as we said, around the park, you know, getting a wheel off the ground does cause some issues, but it makes you choose lines better, which I suppose is a good thing. I think it's quite cheap.
It's incredibly cheap.
I thought it would be a lot more than that.
I mean, in terms of 4x4s in the country, buying brand new, you can't get anything cheaper that is this capable. It's not.
Agreed.
It's
yeah,
not possible.
not that is this capable. I mean, I think a Renault Duster 4x4 is probably near the same price, but it won't quite do what the Jimny will.
Okay. Here we go. Attempting the axle twisters.
Well, this one doesn't have ESC.
No, it doesn't. This particular, nor does it have the tyre pressure monitor. Not that's going to help us. I'm not sure this is going to do this.
Holy mother.
Okay, so.
Right, so we're going to avoid the rest of those axle twisters because this Jimny, as we said, does not have traction control, and it doesn't obviously have any locking differentials, front or rear.
It's only got your air.
It's got that vacuum operated air hub lock thing to engage the front wheels for four-wheel drive, and therefore on the axle twister stuff, the moment the one wheel loses traction, it just spins because there's nothing preventing it doing so, and therefore no power is delivered to the other wheel.
And Suzuki has kindly provided us with road tyres.
Yes.
Not all terrains. I'll go this way.
Okay, so the Jimny's got what is called vacuum locking front hubs, which engage the four-wheel drive system. What that is basically a mechanism to leave the front wheels disconnected if you're on the freeway or in town where you don't need four-wheel drive because it's more efficient that way.
Yes.
So when you engage the hub locks, some solenoids do some magic stuff, which create the vacuum, which then locks them automatically rather than you having to get out and do the old school manual hub lock.
Yeah.
And all that does effectively is it engages it locks the wheel to the front axle so that the wheels are now turned by the drivetrain, rather than just being freewheeling.
So you've got your transfer box in the center, which obviously allows you to send power to the front and the back. So what you're saying is when the hubs are not locked, effectively the shaft that sends power to the front, that's still spinning.
Still going.
It's just the actual lock to each wheel at the front is not engaged.
Correct.
So as soon as you engage that vacuum, it locks them in.
Correct. And
you can do that at speed. Well, you can do that while moving.
Yeah. Well, in this thing you can.
That seems like a bad idea to me, but
I must admit,
Suzuki's engineers must be better than my brain.
Yeah, that's probably
a very good thing. Actually, considering how small and light this thing is, the ride on the rough stuff's not too bad. I mean, you bounce around a bit, but it's not super uncomfortable like a Wrangler or a Defender. those you really bounce around. And this is actually not bad.
Yeah.
Again, considering. I'm not saying it's a Land Rover Discovery, but it's not bad.
I think maybe because you have a steering wheel to hang on to.
Oh, that could be true. Should have probably gone to low range for this.
Hello. Yeah, you probably should have.
It's okay.
We'll just power through it.
Look at that! We're just bouncing up.
I think that's what makes this so incredibly good off-road. Is it's just light.
Yeah.
There's like not a lot of stuff to pull up the hill.
No. So even though the engine's got 0.5 kilowatts,
Yeah.
you're all right.
I think this 12-volt cigarette light has got more power than the engine does.
See what happens. That's...
Oh, I like-
that's quick.
Yeah, that's a bit quicker than you might like from
From hill
a
to
low range.
Yeah. I'm going to use a little bit of brakes.
I would as well.
Oh, we made it to the bottom then. That's alright.
Yeah, so obviously there's no official hill descent control.
But you can...
But low range sort of is what that's about.
Yep.
But in this one, I think it just chugs along a bit too quickly.
He's struggling there.
I'm gonna be bruised.
and yet in the driver's seat, I'm fine. Like, it's not... I'm loving it. We've seen an awful lot of wildlife today.
Yeah.
Impala, zebra, guinea fowl.
Maybe it's because they're not as scared of a Jimny. Because they know
Yes.
that if you hit them, they're probably going to come off better.
So what you're really saying is the Jimny's kinder to the environment.
Yes. Yeah, kinder to wildlife.
Yeah. Ugh.
This is...
Ooh.
This to me...
You were right there, man.
I am. It doesn't help looking at a cell phone and then being on an off-road course. This gives me the same sort of sensation as that Defender did.
Yeah,
that it's like super rudimentary.
But it makes it more fun.
And it does make it more fun. I'll give you that. I'm getting that exact sort of sensation that I did in the Defender.
It's just not as capable.
What the hell are we doing on this thing? Because it's just awfully uncomfortable.
So now you're behind the wheel. Is it more comfortable?
Yes, I must admit I'm not being thrown around quite as much as I was.
Yeah.
And there's a nice big steering wheel to hold on to. So I'll agree. It is more comfortable than a Defender or a Wrangler. What I've really noticed about the Jimny is that, provided all four wheels are on the ground, you are probably going to overcome anything.
Yeah.
But the moment one wheel goes off the ground, then
Even a little bit.
you're done.
Yeah.
Which would be solved with some traction control, probably. But I mean, some of the hills we went up there are immensely steep. I mean, I was like, I'm going to fall over backwards going up here, and it just sort of went, no worries.
And we managed to put a wheel in the air, no problems. And,
Yeah.
Sometimes when this car does slip, or not slip, sorry, when it does go on an angle,
Yeah.
it does go quite quickly, and you sometimes feel as if it's gonna topple over.
Yeah.
But actually, you're fine. And
Yeah.
I think again, it's down to the fact that the car is just so small.
Yeah, it's amazing what sort of angles you can achieve, actually.
This car, to me, feels like a Land Rover Defender, but a small, even more basic version.
Yes, yeah.
So as a little 4x4 toy, this is huge fun. I mean, even on just normal dirt roads with a few yumps and bumps here and there, it makes it an absolute riot.
Yes.
And getting from A to B in this was actually even more fun than the Defender was, because sometimes you had to slow down and think about what you were doing.
The Defender also comes with a lot of sort of history and heritage, which makes you think like, oh, the Defender's going to be the best off-road car ever in the world. And when you get out there, you find it's actually not really, and it's quite sort of agricultural.
Yeah.
So is this, but it doesn't come with the same sort of pretenses, which I think makes it sort of quite likable.
It's very much an underdog, and you're so happy when it actually
does stuff that maybe other cars wouldn't.
I mean, I would rate this 4x4 capability well above things like the Range Rover Evoque
Sport.
and Discovery Sport and things like that. It will do much more. And I mean, we got the car supplied on
road tires,
proper road tires. These
aren't even like
road tires.
Halves. They're like well, they say Jula on them, but let's be honest, they're not really.
No. But it was such good fun, and I mean, it's reasonably comfortable. The car does bounce around a little bit, but again, that's due to the size. The wheelbase of this thing is nothing. It's tiny, and again, that makes every obstacle seem even bigger. So you get to a hole and you think,
I'm going to lose the car down there.
Yeah. Exactly.
On the flip side, the short wheelbase and lightweight makes it super capable in terms of going over really steep inclines.
Provided you can keep your wheels on the
ground.
On terra firma, you're okay.
Yeah. It'll just go over stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's quite great. And you can see why people modify these cars.
Yeah. Because it's a cheap, fun little 4x4 that can actually be made to be very capable.
Exactly.
Exceptionally capable.
Yeah, so if you put some locking diffs in it, and then I know people even upgrade the engine to mostly to a 1.8 litre. I'm not sure which engine it is, but they upgrade to a 1.8, which is good because this thing does need more power. Get onto that just now. But they also raise the suspension and all that, and because it's such a fun little car, the aftermarket has exploded for it.
Yeah.
So it's almost the fact that it's got that aftermarket support really highlights what a great base this little car is.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's a good base. We were laughing about this fake air intake.
The JDM air intake, which does nothing.
But I mean, that sort of JDM, it's not big in South Africa, but that whole sort of modding thing fits this car perfectly.
Exactly. And I mean, on the roads, if we talk about around town, or even not around town, let's say on the open road, this car really struggles. Power-wise, it really struggles. When you're on the highway and you're trying to do 120 k's an hour, if you even think that there's a hill ahead of you, your speed will start to drop. So it's not good as a highway cruiser. But that being said, having driven this for a week around town, what I think it does brilliantly is a city car. It's small, it's frugal on fuel because you can engage two-wheel drive most of the time.
And it's a 1.3.
It's a 1.3, so it uses no
it's
fuel.
A Suzuki. So they use even less fuel than the standard.
Exactly. And I mean, because it's so light as well. It saves you everywhere at the pumps and list price. So actually, I almost think of this as it's literally like a Swift that can go hectically off-road. So it's small, can go around, it can do your in-city driving incredibly well. It's got a great little great turning circle, and it's such a small car. It's literally a little city slicker car that you can bring out to the wild, and it'll be perfectly comfortable here as well. And I think that is quite a little market.
I would say the only thing regarding the city driving is if you need to take more than two people.
Agreed.
It's a bit of a thing. The back seats are tiny. There's only two of them, so you can't do five. And the boot is also not.
The boot is really small, but if you think about your modern city slicking car that has really small seats at the back and has a really small boot, we're talking sort of your Kia Picanto-ish,
Suzuki Alto,
things like that, Celerio, and all of those other ones. It fits into that perfectly.
Yeah, it does fit into that category.
So it's for your city slicking professional who also wants to get out on the weekend and wants something small and frugal. And it works perfectly for that. And I don't think comparing this to your super big 4x4s is fair.
Definitely not fair.
In fact, it fits in its own little niche market that I think works good. How are you stuck going down?
I don't know.
There you go.
That's because I was braking too much. That's what happens when you brake too much.
Yeah, you shouldn't ever brake too much. I guess in conclusion, the question is, would you buy one?
That's a tough one.
It's a tough question.
I don't think I'm in the correct market. You know, you know, for wanting to come out in the wild in the weekends and.
If you're a pure 4x4 enthusiast, I don't think this car is for you. Simply because you're going to want to do 4x4ing all over Africa or the world, wherever you happen to be.
Yeah.
And this is not brilliant for getting you from A to B.
Yeah, so getting you from Joburg to Botswana or to Mozambique or whatever is going to be an unfortunate sort of drive.
Yeah, it's not going to be great, but if you're looking to possibly get into that lifestyle, it's a
nice
perfect stepping stone.
Yeah.
Particularly if you need an A to B car every day as well.
Yeah.
This is a great car to look at.
Well, if you want to buy one of these and modify the hell out of it for a weekend toy, that you come to a place like this.
Exactly, that's where it shines.
Yeah.
That is absolutely where it shines.
Yeah.
So I think it's for your weekend enthusiast, as opposed to your overlanding
it's not
month-long trip. I mean, you can do it, but I don't think it would be as pleasant as in a fully kitted out proper machine. But overall, I really like it. I think the fact that its price is so low really does set it apart. Alright everyone, thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more 4x4 videos and car reviews.